Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. My name is Josh, this is Gaming Joy channel, and we are, I don't know, doing something. Not really sure what to do. I kind of don't want to do anything. We can talk about that, I guess. But yeah. It is what it is. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining if you've come in. I see CBW Farms joining really early. Joe, Rex, and Anders, welcome in, sir. Towboat Fish, thanks for being here, buddies. Thanks for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. It's just... I'm getting to this, to like... I don't know what it is. Is it jaded? Am I jaded now? Or something? I don't even know. I don't even know. I just started the game. Why do I have no wheel control? Oh, you know what? I think I unplugged the wheel. 1 second. Alright, this may or may not work. I don't know if it will or not. Oh, it looks like we got it. Looks like it may work after all. Welcome in. There we go. There we go. Oh, we do have steering wheel. Oh, look at this. Look at my house. My house is almost ready. Check that out. Oh, we can put the wheel cam on. We haven't put the wheel cam on in a while. Where's the wheel? There we go. Close enough. Or not. And we need a light. Sorry for the slight delay, folks. We're getting started. We're here. Check out my house. It's getting built. If we look, it's actually coming along pretty well. I have more like supplies than this thing actually needs sitting there. They're just submitted. I'm not sure how much left it's going to be to actually process, but you know, it's going to be a cabin at some point. This thing goes really slow in reverse. How's it going, everybody? Jack Sarge, welcome in. Ultimate Sim Gamer, welcome in. Thanks for being here. So, I'm in this quandary of time. Why am I limited at 12 miles an hour? I'm only allowed to go 12 miles an hour in reverse? That sucks. There we go. I'm in this, like, farm sim quandary, right? Which basically says I've got a couple different playthroughs going, and I've got a couple ideas for new ones to eventually start, but I'm bored. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just like and it's just that I'm kind of bored with like the content we have. And I'm bored with like the maps we have, and nothing has really sparked my entertainment. And while this map gives me something to do, at the same time it's not really lighting a fire, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not like that much excitement to me. It kind of sucks, right? It kind of sucks to say. It kind of sucks to even think that. And it's not that like there isn't awesome stuff out there, and it's not that there isn't, you know, great modders in the modding community releasing amazing things. It's just that I don't know, it's the same. Like, we got that new map release last week with Polygony, or how do you pronounce it? Polygny. We got that map release last week for Polygny, and while I really love that map, I think it looks beautiful, and I'm looking forward to playing it. In my mind, that's a recorded series, so I can't even start playing until I record, and I don't want to do that on a live stream because then it's not a recorded series; it would be a live series, and I don't want to mix the two personally. It's just how I want to roll, and so I'm not playing it. I'm just kind of ignoring the fact that it's there, or I'm setting up. I'm getting ready, right? Hey, Rank, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Yeah, and then like I've spent the past week and a half, just over a week, editing a map. And the funny thing is that I'm doing it not really out of spite, and not really for any reason other than to learn, to prove that I can. Number one, and to prove that to learn something new, and to mess with in some ways, see if I can make the kind of changes I typically make to a map where there is some reception to those changes. Like, I've spent a lot of time editing maps over the years, and in most cases, you guys have seen them, most cases those maps are edited for myself. They're edited for my series, the series that I do on YouTube. But they never go any further than that. Like, almost every map that I've edited or played on in 22 was all for a YouTube series of some kind. And no one ever got to see that work. No one ever got to see my hard work and to experience a map that I created or edited or whatever for themselves, right? And that's kind of a bummer, right? And so I wanted to do a little bit of map work and have it so that people could enjoy it, right? And so that's what I've been doing with Harrison Farms, and I've been working hard on that map to make it better than what it was, and helping to teach SMB, who's a new map maker, hoping to teach him and others along the way what I can teach. You know me, I love teaching. But it's still not my map. It's still his map. And for that matter, it's not even a map that I would actually make or even play. I might make something like that if I had a really good location, but I wouldn't play a map like that. Like, it's literally the whole map is the height. I don't know, when you're making a map, you set the height, right? You set the height of the terrain in the XYZ coordinates, and the Y is the height for some reason on in GE. And I really shouldn't be cutting this thing at this close. I really should have a road down here. I'm just gonna plow it and then I'll make a road later. Let's do that. Like, you need a height, and so all of it, the entire map is at height 100. Which is like the entire map. If I ever need to make sure something's level with the ground, I just set the height to 100 and I'm done with it. Right? It's like, okay. It's like the definition of flat. And you know me, I'm not a big fan of flat maps. I think I mentioned that during the original map tour thing that I did. But oh, that's not the right button. I meant to do the unfold button. There it is. And so I've been like doing all of this work to edit a map that I'm not even excited about. Like, I'm excited about doing the work and I'm excited about helping someone else out, and I'm, you know me, I always love helping people, but I'm not excited about the map itself. Right? And so where do I go with that? That's what I've been thinking today. Like, in some ways, playing this map a little bit and playing this series, which is a challenge that I made, it's kind of going through the motions. No one else is doing this challenge at all. In some ways, it's kind of a crazy challenge to begin with, trying to play with only mods and not any base game equipment when we're only 3 or 4 months into it, to the new game. 3 months now? Like, just that idea by itself is crazy enough. I don't know what to do with that. What do you guys think? I mean, do I continue with this series? I'm also still doing the Can You Survive 25 challenge, and the more I think about that series, the more it's really like, can I really survive continuing to play a game that I'm kind of not really enjoying right now? I feel like there's so many things wrong and so many things that need to get fixed that I'm not sure if I even really want to play. I don't know, does anyone else feel that way? Is anyone else like kind of jiving with what I'm saying here? Let me know in the comments. For now, I'm just gonna plow this field, and then come, because we are doing seasons, I always play with seasons on. Come the seasons, come spring, I'm gonna have to plant something. I don't know what to plant yet. I don't even know like what crops there are. Like, I don't care. I don't have a harvester or anything. This map doesn't really have crops. It just has stuff. There's no actual fields. And so the other 2 fields are just grass, and those are just going to be my grass fields. Or the other field, it's actually all one field now. I also think I'm a little bit... I'm also stuck in modding, in all honesty. I'm stuck with all of these ideas, and every single one of my ideas has been put on hold by someone else. Someone who's controlling how I feel. And that sucks. That's controlling my forward progress. Because Giants has had, what, 6 of my mods in testing since the beginning of December now. And it's now almost March. And we still haven't gotten anything released. And so I don't even know what to, like I keep getting this like feeling of, why do I even bother? And then 10 minutes later I come up with another good idea and I start building it, and then I realize that even if I pushed really hard and even if I pushed it to ModHub today, most people won't see that until June, July. Ugh. That just makes me want to vomit. Like, what's the point? What's the purpose? I don't know, it just makes me sad. Makes me upset. Makes me annoyed. Oh, awesome, Joe. You got some snow mesh? I actually, personally, figured out the snow mesh on a placeable building for the first time a couple weeks ago. Giant sent back the industrial sawmill right there. And also the one over here, which I'm going to have to take out before I can finish plowing. And then they said that and they told me that I didn't have the proper snow mesh. And it turns out that the original modder who had made the mod, not the original modder, the original modeler, the person who made the model for the mod, had added a snow mesh, but it wasn't complete. And so I had to learn how that stuff works, which is pretty cool. I actually know how to do it now, and I want to go back to some of the other stuff that I've made, like the film farm fill stations, which are currently still in console testing. They've been in console testing for like since last Thursday, since last Wednesday, something ridiculous like that. They've literally been in console testing for almost a week. And I want to go back and make sure I add the snow mask on those. And then once I add the snow mask, I'll have to submit an update and then wait 2 months for it to get released. Like, bleh, come, like that. Just talking about that makes me so angry and so upset. Like, I've had people playing with the sawmill and testing it. Multiple of you here have been using the sawmill and loving it. Can't wait for it to come out on ModHub, but I'm still sitting here today. It just went into testing again today, just so you guys know. So it had got kicked back for the second or third time, I don't remember. Second time, and it just went back into testing today. To regular testing, and then it'll have to go into console testing. And I'll have to deal with all that again. And so it's just like I'm in this like hurry up and wait mentality. And that just upsets me. Like, I'm a very like goal-driven, detail-oriented kind of person. When I do something, I want to get it done and get it done now. I want to get people's feedback. I want to see the joy in people's faces. I want to hear about everyone really enjoying what the stuff that I'm building and enjoying it in their playthroughs and saying, yes, this is one of my #1 mods that I use on every playthrough. Like, oh, that's why I do this. I don't do it for anything else, ratings or money or anything like that. I do it for the enjoyment of the community. And right now I'm not allowed to enjoy that because I'm blocked by this arcane and never-ending process. And I've got like 6 more mods to finish and submit. And I just like, I know going into it that every single one of those is going to take a month or more from the day I submit it to actually get released. And that's just horrible. And Giants doesn't care. They don't give a damn. Because if they did care, they would be doing something about it. But we're seeing mod drops of 3, 4 mods, 5, 10 mods. You know, and the question is those people who put their mods in must have submitted them in what, November for the ones we're seeing right now? Or December, and they happen to get through without any bugs? That's just not fun. Yeah, and then there's favoritism. And here's your prime example of favoritism. 82 Studios put an update for his fill station to include the same selling stuff that I had to mine. He literally used the exact same code. But his has been out there for 2-3 weeks now, while Giants is sitting on mine and not even releasing it for the first place. And I was the one who came up with that idea. And now he's reaping the benefits of my idea. And I submitted right away. I had it waiting for the release just so I wouldn't miss out. And sure enough, I've missed out. Can I plow right through these? I can. I'm going to plow right through the... I'm going to plow right through my sawmill. Let's pause for a second and see if I can empty this thing out. Okay. Yeah. So this one is the delivery. This one is production. So the one called delivery is the one that is full. Delivery, it has 38,000 liters of wood in it. Not much anything else. Wood beam selling. Everything is set to selling. Everything is set to selling, and it's not selling. Let's fast forward time a little bit. Go to sell, because I want to get rid of this thing. And is it empty? Dude, why are you have... Son of a bitch. Storing. Why is this one... This one is getting wood from the other one. Ugh. Never win. Can't win. I am looking forward, Joe. I am looking forward to see what you're coming up with. I know you didn't actually submit anything for 25 or 22, and I know that you've been working really hard, and I can't wait to see all the stuff that you've been coming up with. I also heard that our good friend Ridiculous Dominic has his truck ready. The XJ is ready, is in beta testing right now, and I'm assuming will get submitted at some point, which is pretty awesome. You know, everyone loves that truck, and though I'm not getting any credit for it. Oh, thanks for the subscription, Trucker Matsy. Thanks for coming in. I know that Dom reached out to me about a month ago, right? And he's like, I don't know what to do. I've been working with some guys with Yos, and we can't figure out how to get autoload to work. Actually, it wasn't Yoast. He's like, I've been working with 82 Studios, and we just can't figure out how to get the autofill stuff to work, right? And I'm like, well, the only thing you can really do is update the pallets in the game to be able to autofill. And I'm like, the best thing I can think of is talk to Yoast and see if he'll add that piece to his liftable pallets mod, which is the one a lot of people are using. And sure enough, he's like, they ended up talking to Yoast, and Yoast's like, yeah, sure, he can add it. And that release came out a couple days ago. And I'm not necessarily taking credit of it, but when we were talking about it, and I thought it was my idea. And I'm happy that they're gonna be able to get autofill working, because everyone loved the autofill in Dom's Jeep and the autofill in some of 82 Studios trucks and trailers and stuff like that. So to be able to get that back in the game is going to be a big thing, especially for console players. So I'm excited to have helped out with that situation in some way, even if I wasn't able to solve it for them. But apparently the idea works, and the truck is ready for testing. And the only downside is the auto load feature requires the liftable pallets mod, which isn't that bad of a requirement, in all honesty, considering a lot of people are going to already be using that. The one I was looking at first wasn't producing anything. It looked like you didn't have it activated. Yeah, so the one I was looking at first, Outlaw, is this one right here. And the reason it wasn't producing anything is because I have it turned off. Specifically for this reason. Because I'm trying to turn it off so I can delete it. Because I had put it there temporarily, and I have since decided that the position that it was in is now technically in the middle of a field, and so I want to put a field there, as you can see from my plowing, and so I gotta get it removed. So I'm just gonna wait for the next hour to hit, and hopefully it won't get anything delivering into it, which means I should be able to remove it. But technically, actually, I was found this in testing today. I think actually, hold on, actually. We don't really care too much, but if I go into here and go into my empty construction menu, see there's like nothing in here, and I go over to B, I turn on destruction mode, I click on the sawmill, see the sawmill highlights? Oh, it's not showing me. So if it's a silo, it'll tell you, hey, you have product in here. You have to sell the product first. But apparently the production is not doing that. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was going to work for the production too, because I know it works for the silo. Because I sold a bunch of silos when I was testing the map for Harrison Farms map. So if you sell a silo and there's stuff in it, it sells that stuff at market value or whatever. And, you know, market value isn't bad. It's not as good as my prices, but it's not bad. Thanks for checking, though. Thanks for watching, Outlaw. And actually, the code for the dynamic fill plane, I'm using it on the sawmill. The downside with the dynamic fill plane code is it doesn't work right. And I don't think Giants understands that. The dynamic fill plane, basically, if you look at the fill boxes, I'll show you guys. It's pretty cool. So in the FarmSim 22 version of these sawmills, see this like wood chips fill plane? See how it's kind of like heaped in strange ways? This is a dynamic fill plane, so it just fills up on its own, and it's kind of natural looking. Whereas before, this one is also natural looking. Huh. I must have an old version of the sawmill that box doesn't have collisions on it. It's very natural looking. The downside is this fill plane is only supposed to show wood chips, but this one doesn't have any wood chips in it. And so it's showing like a fill plane based off of everything that's in the sawmill, not just the thing I need to show. So you can't actually tell it to only show the fill plane for one product, which kind of sucks. And that's kind of, you know, a bug in my mind with how it's designed. On a regular silo, you can show per silo product, because the dynamic fill plane is a sub property of each storage. But with a production, it doesn't let you do that. Oh well. Bummer. Yeah, most people already have lift pallets. Oh shoot, I totally missed it. Trucker Matsy. Right after you subscribed. I didn't see you comment. Thanks for coming in and checking out the stream. We are doing, and for those of you who haven't been here on this stream, and I haven't done this one in about a month, so it's been a while. This is my square by square challenge. Or rather, square by modded square challenge. And of course, we're on Frontier. We're in January. We're barely a year into it. And the entire goal of this challenge is to do kind of a square by square. So you can see from the stuff that we own. We own these squares. So we have 7 squares so far. Which means we can. Next thing I want to build is my I guess farm area. But I can't. When I expand, I have to expand on a square that touches the square that I own. So any one of these, this one, this one, this one, this one. You know, I can expand however I want, but I have to go square by square. And then the other thing with this challenge is that if you look at the store, and I go in here to the vehicles, if you look, my store looks empty. I'm missing a bunch of stuff. And we're using a mod on here called Mods Only. It doesn't show up here, but it is a mod that's activated that I wrote. It's available linked from my Discord. I set it up. So I wrote a mod called Mods Only. And what the Mods Only mod does is pretty much what it sounds like. It literally turns off everything. Everything that's base game is no longer available. So going to category trucks, I have 2 trucks. These are both modded versions of these trucks. There's only 2. Medium tractors, I think I have 3. And these are all mods. So I see everything says mod, mod, mod. Right? I go into wheel loaders. There's 1 wheel loader. Right? So I can only use modded equipment. So the stuff that is showing here is modded. So like category miscellaneous only has this PM truck because I modded it. It doesn't even have what's in the icon. Like the icons are the basic base game icons. It's very strange to be in this like framework. But then also, if we go into construction mode, if I go into sheds, these are only the sheds that I have. And these are all modded sheds. I think they're from like 2 or 3 shed packs. If I go into silos, these are the only silos that I have. These ones that look like base game ones, I modded, so they're mine. The only 2 silo extensions. There's nothing in constructibles. Barely anything in containers. These are all my. This is the farm fill stations pack. Nothing in tools. Farmhouses causes an error. Like, and so like we just don't have anything. There's no animals. There's no husbandries. There's no greenhouses. No cultivation. No generators. Actually, the government subsidy sign because I installed that mod. No fences, no lights, no others, no decoration. Like, everything is missing because I have a mod that turns it all off. So I wrote a mod that turns off everything base game. And the idea came from Rusty's challenge when he did in 22 on Hinterland, which was a square by square challenge. Basically, start on 1 square, start with a single tractor and a trailer, which is the way I started this, and you can only grow your holdings square by square. You have to touch a square to move forward. And as you move forward, you can cut down trees, do whatever you want, but you have to go square by square. That's the only requirement. And you can do contracts and all that kind of stuff is fine now. But this, and I added the extra caveat, which has actually been kind of challenging, is because we're base game, or because we're playing with all the base game stuff off, I have to come up with mods find or build, I should say, mods for everything. So I don't have a harvester right now. I actually don't have any harvester mods in here, I don't think. Thanks for saving right when I needed it. If I come in here and go to here, there isn't even a harvester's... Oh, there is. There's a forage harvester category and a regular harvester category that has a couple modded harvesters in it. But, like, those are the only ones I can use. I can't use anything else. I think it just adds a little bit of extra perspective to it, and I spend a lot of time kind of trolling ModHub, looking for, like, the perfect mod for the next... perfect mod to use for the next thing that I need. So right now I've been using the same seeders for like forever now, and I really want a bigger seeder. I have the money to buy one. Maybe we can do that today. I was thinking about modding one, but I haven't. Is there any good big seeders out there yet? Does anyone know? Because I don't think I have any. Let's look real quick. Because I'm going to need a seeder to plant this field. I don't need it today. I need it next time. So, do I have any seeders? I don't think I do. Here we go. Seeders. Yeah, I have the Venta. That's 4 meters. I don't need these. None of these are help me at all. So I'm going to need a nice big seeder for this field. So we'll have to get one before the next stream, or I'll have to mod or I will have to write my own mod for one of the base game ones to mod it for my own needs. Oh, you know what? Actually, one of my favorite seeders in the game got released recently. We'll use that. The Borgo 8 HMS or blah, 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 the 8 meter Borgo seeder got released recently. And I might go ahead and mod the mod and actually do what I did for the last game, which is, because it really looks like a planter, but it's also a seeder, is just have it be able to seed everything. Just have a one-stop shop for seeding everything. I mean, I'm playing with a modded playthrough. It doesn't have to be realistic. So, why not, right? Outlaw has a modded John Deere planter that plants everything with a direct seeder. Yep. You could send that to me. That'd be cool, Outlaw. I'm up for whatever. As long as I can paint it black. Oh, it's 10:16. Did the production sell all its stuff and then get rid of it? It is empty, except for 121 liters of wood chips. I don't care about those wood chips. Construction. Click. Sell. Yes. Okay. Sweet. So we finally got rid of this production. That's my favorite thing about my sawmill, the industrial sawmill, which is hopefully coming out soon. Who knows when? Hopefully soon. But one of my favorite things about it is that it's cheap. So, like, you can just place it down and then delete it, place another one. It's only 15K. And right now I don't have the mod that gets you back the full production sell prices or the placeable sell prices. I could probably get that one. That's a good idea. But I literally haven't been on this save in like a month. If that. Just, I'm also, and I'll call it out just in case there's someone new here who doesn't know. If anyone here knows somebody in the gaming world who is looking for, you know, to make a little extra money on the side and wants to edit videos, I'm looking to hire a video editor just for some simple editing. I have a couple Let's Plays that I want to do and a couple, a whole series of tutorials where I, you know, some of the stuff that I've been teaching through my live modding series, I want to turn those into like bite-sized chunk tutorials to do what I can to share what I know. And I know you guys really love that content, so, but I don't have time to edit it. I mean, I will make time eventually, but the videos will come out faster. if someone else is doing the editing. So if anyone knows, if you know anybody who'd like to edit some videos for the channel, send them my way. Maybe with an example of the kind of work they do, and have them DM me. I'm looking for something, and it is a paid role. But I'm looking for someone who wants to be part of the channel, not just someone who's looking for money. So, preferably someone who knows the farm sim community would be great. Let me know. Let me know down in the comments. Let me know in the... Reach out to me on Discord. And... that'll be really awesome. I want to get more content out to you guys. I want to get more information, more tips, more tricks, more awesome things to do, fun things to learn, all that stuff. I want to get that out to you and help everyone learn. You know what? Actually, I just realized we don't have rocks turned on. I wanted to turn rocks on before plowing this field. Look at that. Second after turning it on, we already have rocks. All right. Well, I'm going to have rocks on half this field. Mainly because I need the rocks. I need them for the stone quarry production. Because we're not getting rocks from anything else other than either buying them or getting them from the ground. So we can make some concrete. Oh, and I figured out a solution to one of the worst problems that's killing farm sim. Only for me. Which is, whenever I start a save game, the biggest problem I have with the base game is that I can't stand, in most situations, I can't stand the fact that when you start a new save game, like 2/3 of the field on a new save game on most maps are root crops. I can't stand that. I don't want root crops. I just don't want it. If I want root crops, I'm gonna plant root crops. But if I start on a new save and I start off and 3 of the 4 fields that give me have root crops on there, I just want to hurt somebody. And I know that Thunder had a mod to do it, but I wanted to figure out how to do it myself. I didn't even look at his code. And I wrote my own mod to control which crops the game starts with, as well as do a bunch of other fun stuff. And of course, with all my stuff, as you know, it's configurable, so you can be like, I only want sugar beets. I don't want carrots, but I'll take parsnips too. So depending if you want to just pick and choose, or if you don't want any of the new stuff, you just say I don't want new stuff. And what it'll do is it'll actually not even use those crops for fields, or if you use it in the middle of a save, it'll just mean that when the NPCs decide what crops go in their field next, they won't use root crops at all. I'm realizing one of the downsides of this wheel, and there's not really many downsides, but one of the downsides of the wheel is that, like, lifting up, I have buttons bound to stuff on the wheel, right? But I think I need to actually switch them over to being bound on, like, the farm stick here, because I'm, like, trying to turn the wheel, and then the button for, like, snapping to a line is right here on the left. And so I have to, like, mentally figure out where on the wheel it is, because where the wheel is tilted. And so I feel like I should change it so that all the buttons on here are only things that I'd want to use while the wheel is straight, not while it's turning. So, like, snapping to a line or lifting or lowering a plow, those are things I don't want to do while I'm turning. And I think that those need to move the controls over here. I don't know where, though. Oh, cool, John. Thanks for chiming in. Welcome in. Yeah, I'm I'll have people start testing it soon enough on my Discord. Right now, I got it to work for the settings I want, and then the next step is to make it configurable for other settings. And it's just yet another. It's going to be obviously PC only, because it's script based. One of the other things I'm trying to do with it, and I don't know if I can do with it, but you know me, one of the things that I love to do, and I've done this for ever since I figured out how to do it in 22, is customized grass or customized individual crops. And to be able to like paste something into a configuration, the goal would be paste something into a configuration file and have it affect a base game crop. That's what I want to figure out how to do. And I'm still trying to figure that part out, but like the idea being like the grass in 25 is very sparse at certain growth stages. And the fully grown grass, I would like it to be taller. But you can't actually change the base game grass because of the way the game is written. So I want to be able to, with a mod, dynamically change those parameters kind of as the game loads them from its own data files. I just want to be able to change them to whatever I say they should be. So if I want super tall grass or I want super dense grass, then I could just make those changes on my own in my own like thing, and then go from there. So Theoden, I posted a couple maps on my Discord. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. The one I posted today for testing is not this map. This is actually the New Frontier map by Ola Haldor. And this is just my square by modded square challenge. We are going square by square. I see your message, Rank. Thank you very much. I'm trying to own the map, but I'm going square by square. So far, I bought 7 squares. And I love this map. I think this map's great. I'm on the forestry version because I wanted to do some forestry. And so this map is not going to be very farming focused. A lot of it's going to be forestry focused. And what I'd kind of really like to do is thin out some of the big areas like this, make a couple really big fields, and then work with like the forests the way they are. And I kind of want to leave the forests where the missions are. I want to leave those alone, and I want to focus on building fields in the open areas. Yep, that would be cool. I haven't seen any or seen or heard anything about that mod, Outlaw. But John, Mr. Trail Boss, you mentioned the 3 chairs map. That's one of the ones that I want to play, but I think I want to record. I don't really want to do that one live. I'm not sure why. Mainly because I want to be able to. The way I want to play it, I want to be able to skip past a lot of parts of like the gameplay. Like there's lots of mowing, and so if I streamed that map, all you'd ever see is me mowing, and that's just not fun. So I think I might want to record that one so that I can time lapse the mowing. Oh, Theoden, you passed 125 hours? That's a lot. I don't even know how many hours I have in this map. Not very much. Probably like 50. There's stats. We have stats on this stuff now, right? Yeah, 36 hours. Nothing. Yeah, I only have 36 hours in this map. I mean, I'm only in January, right? I have 2 fields, 7 plots of land. I've been enjoying the forestry side of things. I got a tree harvester that I like using. So that kind of makes me happy. And moving on from there, you know? No. So Outlaw, you can't add new contract types without teaching the game with code what to do with that type of contract. So even if like I added forage contracts, something has to tell the game what a forage contract is, because it doesn't even have a forage contract. Like that logic doesn't exist. And so you have to have both sides of it, both the ability to script in what a forage contract is, what kind of equipment it has, and then like what state defines a good forage contract. When can a forage contract be executed? What defines a forage contract being complete? All of that code someone's going to have to write. And it was written before for 22, so it's not going to be hard. I'm sure it'll come out eventually. Yeah. You know, I've never used the Impex one. I've never really used it. What I'm waiting for is... And I know that it's already out, sort of, in the... in the FDR pack, which is the Tiger Cat. I'd really love to have one of the tracked Tiger Cat excavator style harvesters. Those are really awesome. Yeah, I don't even have... I think I have a lot of trees cut. How many trees have I cut? Does it tell me? I don't even know where to look. Trees planted. Trees cut down. 504. So just on my few plots of land, I've cut down 504 trees, and I'm using the Ponzi Cobra, which was a converted harvester from 22 that I have since edited to make it a little bit stronger. But technically, I can't use the Impex one because on this playthrough because it's not a mod. It's base game, and I'm only allowed to use modded harvesters. So if I wanted to use it, I'd have to modify it somehow. I don't even know what I'd do to that thing. How is everyone doing tonight? Is everyone enjoying it? I always like to hear if anyone's currently playing, like this week, what's your favorite map this week? It can be anything. Tell me what's your favorite map. Not only that, in the chat, tell me what your favorite map is and why. I really want to know why. This week, for me, my favorite map is Paligny by MA7. And my reason why that's my favorite map, and I'm very much looking forward to playing it, is that it's unique and custom, and all of the buildings in the map are custom. There's almost no base game buildings, if there are any at all. And to me, and not only that, there's almost no flat land. It's all very kind of rolling hills, and that's my jam. I love the rolling hills. And I'm looking forward to playing that map. But I was just about to start the playthrough, like last night, start recording, and I found out from the MA7 team there's going to be an update. They're going to do a 1.1 update, which is going to add a new crop. And I know from being a map maker that as soon as you add a new crop, that's going to require a new save game if you want fields to have that crop in it. So that means that I can't start my new playthrough right away. I have to wait for them to update the map. And so I asked them nicely last night. I was like, so if you're going to put out an update, when is it coming out? Let's see what people say. Dakota 16X. Nice. I looked at the first Dakota, and I don't know if it was like a bad convert or something. The one I looked at was... I don't know if it was the same map as the 16X. Like, it was a 4X. But the Dakota 4X was, to me, was just like, I was on it for like 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, thank you. I did like that it had rolling hills, and it had that kind of very centered town area, farm area. But it didn't really strike me very much. And I was watching Bruce playing the 16X, and I guess if you like CBW, you always love your big fields, so I can see how you'd love that one. Frankenmuth? Big open flat fields. Yes, you're going to get plenty of those on Frankenmuth, Adam Schindler. By the way, if you do love that big open flat field kind of feeling and look, definitely check out Harrison Farms in my Discord. I was working with SMB modding to get that, add some functionality and features to that map, and it's almost ready for release. And they're going to update the new version of it. And if you like that kind of map, it's same thing, flat open fields. And I put a lot of work into making it a little bit better. So definitely check that out if you're looking for something new, or if you just want to keep going on Frankenmuth, go for it. I played Frankenmuth a lot in 22, but not because I wanted to. I played for like a challenge. I was with a Farmer Klein's Discord. I did a PC versus console challenge on Frankenmuth, where we had a PC team and a console team both playing the map for a month. And at the end of the month is seeing who had the most money or whatever. It was a fun challenge. And it became like a productions game. It's really what it was. But I don't really like flat, so not a big fan. You love a 4X version of New Frontier. I would too. I would definitely love a 4X version of New Frontier. I think there will be. It's inevitable that we're going to get a few more. We're going to get a 4X kind of start from scratch, build your own wilderness style map. It's on my list of maps to make if I ever get around to making maps. Would be a 4X wilderness style map, just because I love playing that kind of map, and I know a lot of people would too. Outlaw's got a great dairy farm on Monteith. Again, I love the hills and whatnot on Monteith. My only thing with Monteith is I think it was a really good, accurate representation of the area. Not an area that I like. Let's put it that way. It was an accurate representation of an area. And as such, it's kind of... I didn't really like the all same old kind of fields. I think every field on that map is either corn or soybeans. And there was only one farm, and I was like... And then like a third of the map wasn't even used at all. And you couldn't buy it. And I can't stand when... Like, one of my biggest gripes with maps, every map that I play, I will not play a map without editing it if there are gaps between fields. I can't stand that. I can't stand that you can't buy everything, because as a player, I want to be able to customize. I want to be able to cut down trees and merge fields. But if you're not going to let me buy the space in between, I'm just not going to play your map unless I edit it. And I've actually thought, in my mind, I've thought about editing Monteith like 2 or 3 times just to do that, to make it all viable. But I just haven't bothered. Yeah, CBW is going to have to be able, was going to have some fun building some more American-style farmsteads. When we get some more American-style maps, I think that'll be really fun. Adam Chandler's logging and backcountry and the mining, so they're using RGC's 4X map. That's fun. I did a tour on the backcountry map, which looked awesome. And if you really want to get into some forestry, that one's really good. The downside is that it uses primarily the spruce trees, which last I checked, and of course I haven't checked in a while, so don't quote me on this. But last I checked, the spruce trees were still having issues with glitching into the ground. And if I'm going to do some hardcore forestry, I would want to do it with a group. I would want that to be multiplayer for me. John Trailboss is with me on the 3 chairs. That 3 chairs map is awesome. All of those like little mountain roads are so tight. You can't have any big equipment on those roads. They're so tight. Even just getting to a field to do a contract is like, you have to really get to know that map. And like, but there's so many twists and turns. There's no direct ways to get places. And for me, like, I actually really enjoy it. I'm looking forward to playing that map and trying a little bit of a different playthrough. I've had this kind of alpine survival kind of playthrough idea for a while. And I think that map would be pretty good for it. But we'll see. And then Trucker Matsu, you're making a map? That's right. I think I heard you were making a map. When's it coming, buddy? You gotta let me beta test it for you. I'm the most depending on your personality, I can depending on your personality, I can either be the worst beta tester or the best beta tester. Because when I give reviews, I point out, I'm like that nitpicky grandma who's like, you have a speck of grass on your shoe. You better wash your shoes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to point out all those little teeny tiny things. And because I want any map that I play on, if I'm helping someone test it, I want it to be perfect. So I'm going to point out all the little teeny tiny things. And then, but some people, they're like, I'm not like, I give people like a 7-page list of things to fix. They're like, I don't need all of that. I'm not a high five tester. I'm definitely a actual tester. Adam, good question. How hard is it to make a new crop? Supposedly it's easier in 25. I think there's so it depends on what that crop is. To make a new crop, it needs a couple pieces, right? In general. A crop needs a visual, like what it looks like. Right? So it's going to be what it looks like when it comes out of the ground. And you're going to need not just what it looks like fully grown, but all of the growth stages in between. And your crop can have anywhere from 4 to a dozen growth stages, depending on how detailed you want to make it. And each of those growth stages is a separate model. So it's a visual. And those models are done with like flat things with weird ways of making it look three-dimensional, but essentially it's a flat graphic. If it's simple enough to take an existing crop and modify its color or the look of it or somehow to make it into a new crop, then go for it. Like NF Marsh had winter wheat and winter wheat, summer barley, a bunch of pea-based crops, a bunch of bean-based crops, and they were all based off of either FS22 or FS25 assets. So it's using the same graphics as other crops, but just with different outputs, different fill types and whatnot, right? And so, and then once you have the crop, then you have to create a fill type. So whatever the crop is when you harvest it, you have to have what it looks like in the trailer. So that's a fill plane. You have to have the graphic for that fill plane. And then you have to define what happens to that crop. So personally, I like crops that have productions or other things that you're making from those crops. So if you're gonna, and I'm always kind of like, I always frown, I guess I'll say, at crops that maps that have crops that serve no purpose. That always bums me out. NF Marsh did that. Like the first release of NF Marsh, I know they're playing on stuff in the future, but the first release of NF Marsh had alfalfa, it had a bunch of beans that we don't normally have, it had winter wheat, summer wheat, blah, blah, blah. It had a bunch of different, like, bale types, all this kind of special stuff, right? But none of that stuff, like, it was just the crop and just the fill type. And they forgot about the rest of the game around them, and they just made the crop and the fill type by itself. And then there's nothing to do with that fill type. Like, what are you supposed to do with black beans? Or whatever it was. I don't remember what it was. Like a bean crop. And then, you have soybean straw. Or you have bean straw. So whenever you harvest the beans, it actually drops straw on the field. And it makes its own bale. But then you couldn't do anything with the bales. And so whenever I look at crops like that, and if I look at making a crop, I want it either to use the existing systems that are already in place or add to those systems in some way. Like Squiggles added hemp, right? And he added hemp to his Riverbend Springs edit. And it's a whole network of stuff. It's not just, hey, go harvest the hemp, sell it. No, it's like he has all these productions that go alongside of it that make other things. And then you can sell those other things or turn those other things into other things. Like, it's tied into the FS framework, the community, but like the whole FS ecosystem. It has to be tied in. Like alfalfa, alfalfa's great. I like alfalfa. Good idea. But unless you do something with the alfalfa that's different, it doesn't make sense. Like, why would you grow alfalfa with its different growth cycle if you get no benefit from growing it other than just selling it to a sell point? Right? So if a map has alfalfa, like alfalfa is a good example. Thanks for the example, Rank. Or Outlaw. If a map has alfalfa, I want that alfalfa to be tied into the map somehow. Not just extra bales, not just, you know, that stuff, but I want it to be tied in. If I feed my animals alfalfa, should my animals like get some benefit from getting alfalfa hay over regular hay, which gives me some kind of added benefit, right? That's a bummer, right? I feel like at that point, your extra crop is just a token, right? It's just, oh, look, I have a new crop. I have a new map, and it just has new extra crops. Yeah, you're welcome. Like Calmsden. Calmsden had linseed, right? I don't know if the new one did, or sorry, Oak Bridge or whatever it's called now. But Calmsden in 22 had linseed, and then there wasn't anything to do with linseed. You couldn't do anything with it. So when I played on Calmsden for like 200-300 hours. I actually made productions for the linseed to make linseed oil. I made custom linseed oil pallets and had, you know, places to sell the linseed oil and to use the linseed oil for other things. Like, I tied it into the map. But when people don't tie it into the map, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not like it's done wrong. But it's a bummer. Right? Wishing Gamer, how's it going? Thanks for coming in. And yeah, I agree, Outlaw. There is a current trend. I'm gonna get my the storage deliver stuff thing. Do I have store deliveries on here? I think I do. There is a current, somewhat negative trend happening where you have a bunch of map makers and modders who are using Patreon with really extreme prices on the Patreon. I'm gonna buy a what's it called? I'm gonna buy this. And it doesn't have colors yet. I'm going to update it later and make it colorable. But we're going to buy this so I can go Stonepick. I could use my VPW one, but I feel like doing the work. So anyways, there's this trend of map makers and modders who want to get paid for their work. And I get it. I would want to get paid for my work too, if that was what I was in this for. I'm not in it for that, so that's not something that matters to me. But they want to get paid for the work that they do to make mods or maps. And so a lot of them are basically setting up a Patreon where people can hear more information about a map. Oh, Theoden, that is the MT10 by Ridiculous Dominic. It is not available. I am currently testing it for him. It is and will be coming to ModHub. It's just not available yet. Let's see if I'm lined up. Can I see the rocks on the map anymore? Stones. So I need a little bit further out. But yeah, that mod was... There is a version of that mod on 22, so if you want to look in for more information about it. Oops. I think I went over too far. Just start right here. Yeah, so that mod, the MT10 by Ridiculous Dominic, was out on 22. I just happen to have a version of it for 25 that I'm helping him test, and I helped him fix a couple bugs on it when he first gave it to me. And he said I could use it on stream. But yeah, so the Patreon thing is... It's twofold. I get it. I understand. But what it's causing, and let's take the example that Rank gave, which was, or Adam said, which was, they have like a Facebook, and then they also have a Patreon, and they're allowing Patreon members to get early access to their maps. And sometimes that early access is like forever early access, like the map is never going to be released and they're just going to basically keep it to the people who pay money, which I think hurts the community, whatever. And in some cases that early access is actually just truly early access. And you see people like DR Modding, and like DR Modding currently has Farmville. And I think Outlaw was saying that he's looking forward to Farmville, the Farmville map. And while I understand that people are looking forward to the Farmville map, but right now, the Farmville map is only available for people... Whoops, wrong button. For Patreon members at like the highest level. But what that means, think about it logically, is what that means is that people are paying to get early access to your map. They're not testing your map for you. They're paying to get early access. There's a huge difference there, right? There's a huge difference mentally between someone who you've brought in to be a tester and help make your map better, and someone who's just getting your map early so that they can do a series on it. Those are two completely different people. One is someone who's helping, the other one is somebody who is using you or paying for access to something that other people don't have access for. So they're paying for elitism. Okay? The part that I don't agree with is twofold. Number one, I understand paying for elitism. That's fine. If that's what you're doing, call it that. Don't call it that you're being generous and giving people access to your map because they're beta testers and you're getting under Giants' flag, under Giants' radar because you're doing the beta testing program, yada, yada, yada. Don't lie about what you're doing. Just say what you're doing, right? But then again, they can't because that's against Giants' TOS. And so they would get blocked from ModHub if they ever actually went to ModHub because of what they're doing, right? It's against the rules. But then those people who are testing your map or playing your map, they're not testing your map. They're just playing it. And when they find a bug, they're going to whine about it. They're not going to be like, hey, I found a floating tree. Here's a screenshot of where it is. They're going to be like, there's a floating tree that's in my way for me building my farm. You need to fix it now. There's an attitude difference there. One is I'm helping. I'm testing a map for someone, I'm helping, and I'm going to show you how to fix something, or where something could be fixed, or an improvement you might make, or how to make something better, versus I'm trying to do a series, and now you're going to put out a new version of the map, and I'm going to have to hold you a whole new save game. Wah. I'm no longer going to be a Patreon. This sucks. I hate you. I'm never talking to you again. Like, you're going to get that kind of attitude. And, like, at that level, what's the point? You're not getting beta testers. You're not having people beta test your map. You're having people pay to get early access, and all they want is the early access. They don't want to help you. They don't want to make the map better. They just want to play on the map. Yeah, but then you're charging them. I've heard anywhere from like $30 to $50 a month to be part of the elite crew that gets early access to certain modders, map makers' maps. $50 a month, monthly, not just like a one-time $50 fee, but $50 a month. I don't even pay $50 a month for the Adobe suite, the entire Adobe suite. Like, I refuse to. It's too much. I don't even know what the Adobe suite is, but I know that, like, you know, Photoshop, Illustrator, and Premiere together is like $100 a month or something like that, or that's what it was. Last time I looked, I was like, there's no way in hell I'm paying for that. How in the world would I pay? I don't understand how people would pay $50 a month for a map that's not even finished, doesn't even work, and you know that you can't actually put any time into it because you're going to need a new save game when the map author fixes things that are currently broken with it. Does that make any sense? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. The rental man. Squad and rental man. Yeah. I don't get it. I would never pay, personally, just me, I would never pay for early access, beta access to a map or any game. I'm never going to pay for beta access for anything. I've bought games and been part of beta access, but I bought the game. I own the game. When it gets the new version, one-time fee, I'm done. You're asking people to basically pay for an entire Xbox game or PC game or Steam game or whatever every month just to play your one map. And not only that, most map makers, even if they're really, really good, they're only putting out 2, maybe 3 maps a year. So look at it this way. You're going to spend $600 to be a member for a year to get early access to 2, maybe 3 broke-ass maps. Does that make any sense at all? $600. I could buy a new computer for $600. I mean, hell, the computer I'm streaming off of right now costs like $300. Like, I don't understand, like, the prices people pay for this stuff. And the first time I really saw that whole mentality was, I don't know, you've seen that, like, the Modest Gamer and Not Farming guys who basically took No Man's Land and they kept editing No Man's Land over and over and over and making No Man's Land clones. They made like One Tree No Man's Land or Desert No Man's Land or No Man's Land Islands or the Islands map. All they're doing is like recycling the same thing. But then they make people join a Patreon to get access to their edit of someone else's map. Like, they can't even come up with a map on their own. Like, I can understand paying for equipment, but I'm not going to pay for early beta access for equipment. If I'm going to pay for something, and I have, I'm going to pay for something because I believe in them and I value what I'm getting. And I know that I'm getting a completed, finished product, and I'm getting support for it. right? Like MA7. I've bought a bunch of MA7's buildings. You know, they're like $2-3 each, no big deal. But because I wanted to build a farm using their stuff, and I did, and it was awesome. But would I pay monthly for that? That's no. And in all honesty, they're just all they're doing. All these map makers and authors with their Patreons are doing is they're subverting Giants' TOS and calling the people who they're getting early access to beta testers so that they can get around the TOS restrictions. That's all they're doing. Which makes the rest of us look bad. And they're exactly Ultimate Sim Gamer. And they're getting a good product. You know, the reason why itch.io is successful for a lot of modders is because you can get everything for free from itch.io. And most people do. But when you get something for free and you're like, dang, this is really good. I can't believe they put so much effort into this thing that works so well. I'll go back and spend some money. I'll go back and click the download link just so I can donate to the modder to tell them that I like their stuff, like whatever I downloaded. Right? That's the best kind of feedback that a modder can get. Is an actual user actually playing your thing and actually enjoying it. Right? But I don't get the Patreon thing. But, I mean, people have to make money somehow, so maybe I'm elitist. You can call me that if you want. But, I mean, we play a free game with a free ModHub where things are not allowed to be charged. And I'm willing to wait for those same things to be released as free things. Theoden, the question. Is my minimap angle indicator off from my enhanced vehicle indicator? No. Oh, yeah, it is. It's 180 off. It's turned around 180. So the actual direction that I'm going is 360, but the angle indicator on the enhanced vehicle is 180 from that. Like enhanced vehicles backwards. Yeah, enhanced vehicle sees. Hold on. Enhanced vehicle is actually right. The minimap is wrong. Okay, so I'm on the map. Here's where I am on the map. We look at the map. Right? This is my map. This is my map. This supposedly is north. If I go to this view, if I go to this one, here it is. It's only the square one. You know, the numbers are wrong. So the numbers at the bottom of the minimap are backwards. If you look, see the little caret indicator? You can't see my minimap because the camera's on there. Hold on. So if you see my minimap, here we go. I'll take the camera off. We don't need to see the wheel camera. If you look at the minimap indicator, the north is pointing up. But then the numbers at the bottom say 180, which is south. So the numbers on the minimap are totally wrong. So enhanced vehicles is right. The minimap's wrong. Hey, Northern Farm Sim, how's it going? Welcome in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming along. And you know, Theoden, the one thing that I just like laugh about is that like you'd think that would be like day one of testing a new game. Hey, wait, are we actually measuring our angle of direction correctly? Yes or no? Like, you either are or you aren't. There's no in between. Like, in the fact that we're 4 months into the game with 3 patches now, and they still haven't figured which direction you're going. They still haven't corrected that yet? Come on. Really? I don't get that at all. That's just silly. Hold on, I'm gonna tab out. The audio might go away. No, it did. The audio went away. Hey, Ronnie, how's it going? Hold on one sec, folks. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Ronnie. I'm sorry for your loss. We are praying for your family, and I know how hard that it can be to go through something like that. From what I heard, I hope that everyone was able to make it to be there for him in the end. So we're praying for you, buddy. Please pass that along to your brother as well. Let him know that we're all praying for him. We're playing for both of you. I guess I should be lucky on this map that there's not very many rocks. Because this thing isn't full yet. If I had the VPW version of this thing, I would have been done by now. Which I think I have. Do I have that on here? I think I do. Yeah, I do. Oh, but I don't have the new version that has all the stuff. Oh, awesome, Theoden. Thank you. Yeah. Northern Farm Sim has been... He's been like my number 1 or number 2 promoter lately. Because he's been doing a big playthrough on this map. He's spent more time on this map than I have, for sure. And he's getting great usage out of a couple of my mods, I believe. From the farm fill stations to the industrial sawmill. And everyone sees them in his streams is like... Comes over to my Discord and like, hey, Northern Farm Sim sent me over here. So thank you, Northern Farm Sim, for sending everyone my way. By the way, the farm fill stations and the Bednar Batwing, the Batwing mower that I use on this playthrough, they're both actually in console testing right now. So I'm hoping this week. I was hoping for Monday. It's been in console testing since Thursday with no updates whatsoever. It's just in console testing. So we'll see. I'm hoping it comes out this week. And the farm fill stations, I'm hoping those come out this week also. The industrial sawmill went back into testing. So I'm really hoping that one comes out this week. And then there's one more, which is the boosted greenhouses, which is currently awaiting testing, but there has been no updates on that one yet. So I don't know. Of course, of course. I mean, you guys are doing, in some ways, I open up and I'm very public about the mods that I'm developing. And when they're ready, when they're polished enough to play with, not when they're dumpster fires that still need to be edited, I will give them out to people to have them test and let them use on streams. So many of you have used some of these on streams that I've also used. And sharing content using them and whatnot. Which helps spread the word about them, but also helps me find defects. I know that Northern Farm Sim actually gave me an idea for an upgrade to the farms, to the sawmill I think a couple of the other people on this channel have also given me a couple really good ideas that I've been able to add in to the sawmill. One of the things that I've added in that I haven't actually talked about, but there's going to be 2 versions of the sawmill production, the production version. And the second version of it is going to be an auto unload version. So you can just drive right on through and it'll automatically take the logs off your trailer. So you don't have to get out and press the button and all kind of stuff. That was actually requested by... I forget who requested that one. Somebody requested that fuck feature and I was like, yeah, sure, I can add it. And so that got added. So all of your suggestions and testing goes into me being able to put out a better product. I believe Jack Sarge pointed out that my liquid fill station didn't sell goat milk because goat milk is in a pallet. And so I was able to update the liquid fill station to actually accept pallets for goat milk and buffalo milk, which it wasn't doing before. So I've been able to make improvements based on your feedback. So I really, really love and enjoy the feedback and jump on those things right away. For the contract boost mod that everyone's been using, I've actually handled and taken in over 60 bug reports on the contract boost mod, where people have reported things either broken or made suggestions or whatever. And there's been over 60 bug reports that was submitted through GitHub where they've pointed something out and I've fixed it, and I've added a dozen new features based on some of that feedback. So it's been really good. The community has been really, really strong to me, and I'm blessed and I'm very, very humbled and thankful that that you guys are as open with the constructive criticism and feedback as you are. As a modder, in all honesty, with everything that's going on with Giants, that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me trying to build new things, because I kind of want to not impress you, but I want to make everyone's gameplay better. If there's any reason why, I want to make things better. And that's what keeps me going. Northern Farm Sim has a good question here. Is there any reason why productions, when set to storing, will always spawn pallets rather than storing them until they request them? So that's a base game feature. That is Giants not understanding what the word storing means. Technically, I would prefer that if there should be 4 options for every production fill type. And I don't actually like how they've changed the new system. So in 22, you were able to set the status on an output type. So you could set your output type to either storing, delivery, or selling, right? So you're setting the output type. But in 25, for some asinine reason, I really don't understand it, they changed it so that now you're setting the recipe to storing, delivery, or selling. Which means that if you have a recipe that has 2 outputs, it's going to sell or deliver or store or whatever, both of those 2, 3, 4, 5 outputs, whatever you want. So having a recipe that has multiple outputs, like a BGA that has an output of both, or having a fermenting silo that has an output of silage and a byproduct of digestate, you have no way of delivering the digestate. Because you can't keep the silage and deliver the digestate somewhere else, because the mode is set on the recipe, not the item. Which just doesn't make sense. And so I would agree that it's totally a Giants thing. It's totally they built it that way intentionally. It's not necessarily a bug. I think it's more of They built it that way intentionally because they have a single vision on the way that productions and pallets should be used. And if you look at all of their productions, they don't want people to leave stuff in their production. They want a production to be something that you maintain every day, multiple times a day. And it spawns a couple pallets, you go pick up the pallets and you sell them, or you do something else with them, put them into object storage. They don't want you to sit on, 100,000 liters of something in a production. And they would rather slow down the FPS of your map because you have so many pallets spawned, or potentially hitting a pallet spawn limit by auto spawning instead of allowing us to store. And I would rather that, and I don't know if I can change this, but I would rather there was a fourth option, which would be spawn. And so either you set a recipe to store, which means it would not spawn. You set it to spawn, which means it'll spawn pallets. Or you set it to delivery, which means it'll deliver that product to another production. Or it'll sell that recipe. So that's what I think should happen. If I can add that functionality into one of my mods, then I will. I have about halfway done, maybe 2/3 done mod that I've been working for about 3 years now. Or 2 years? 2 years now? Maybe 3. It's been a while. Called Production Boost. Very much like Contract Boost, where I'm just giving you all kinds of control over the production system. I'll see if I can add the spawn feature and change that. That would be awesome. So Theoden, actually, there was something released today that does exactly that. So there's a distribution center mod that came out today that's specifically designed to do that. And there's also, as Lord of the Farm said, a logistics center. But the one that came out today actually has a separate line item for every pallet type and every fill type, as far as I remember. Where you can set each one to distributing or whatever. And I believe it'll store 400,000 liters of each thing. The downside is that if you're using that to store the stuff, it's gonna spawn pallets left, right, and center. And so I would actually say that there should be a fourth option, or there shouldn't be a store option at all. I think store should be the default. I think spawn should be an action you take, and I think that if they change productions so that when you went into the production menu, you could say, hey, spawn 20, you have 25 pallets of X, just like the object storage does. If they merge those two pieces of logic together, that would be perfect. If I could go over to a production and be like, hey, give me 10 pallets of clothing. I'm going to take those clothing over to my next thing. Then it'll spawn 10 pallets out. It'll keep everything back in, right? Back in the storage, and then let me move on with my life. That would be perfect for me. That would be what I would want to do. I would rather have control over it through an in-game logic that they already have, which is that object storage menu where you say how many of whatever you want to spawn out or want to spawn out of your storage. Like, I think that by default, if you set a production to storing, then you should have a trigger to spawn them out when you want them, just like bale storage. Exactly. And then I also have a mod that I still have to convert over from 22. It's on my list. I think it's second or third on my list, which is the spawn pallets stacked mod. So just like my sawmill, where it stacks things up in multiple levels, I have a script mod that does that for every production, every greenhouse, everything in the map. modded or not modded, everything. And for some cases, it'll actually make 2 rows. Some cases, it'll just stack them up 2 or 3 or 4 high. And it'll let you decide which stuff you want stacked. CS Benji, thanks for being here. Thanks for coming along. And I hope you have a good night, Charles. Yeah, it was the production revamp mod, I believe, added that option to spawn versus store. But it was like it wasn't like what I'm talking about with control. It was more of like either spawn or not. And I personally would like to see the control part where you have control over what spawns or what doesn't whenever you decide to do it. Okay, so I'm going to check this and see if by collecting this stuff, have I gotten anything? Oh, I'm getting a cultivated state. Okay. I'm going to finish, after I do this center part of the field, I'm going to go around with this on the outside of the field and get a cultivated state. So the whole field is at the same state. And then by the time I'm done with that, we should be done. Or my time will be up. But yeah, that's back to the same discussion we had earlier, which is I'm losing the drive to spend time modding and working on all these mods that I want to convert when I know that if I start working on something today, and even if I get it done this week, it's not going to actually hit ModHub for like a month or more. I don't know if I could do that, Adam. I could look at it. I know that the tree planter has, I think it has logic in it that defines how fast the tree spawns. I don't know if it's customizable. We could look real quick. Here. Where's the XML? It's a vehicle, right? Yard or carriage. Log grab. Oh, there it is. There it is. Tree sapling pallet. Tree. Tree planter. Min distance. Right here. Theoden. I could mod the existing tree planter to do exactly what you want. Just let me know. It looks like that it has a minimum distance between trees, and the minimum distance right now is set to 20 meters. So if you just modified the existing base game planter and changed the minimum distance to like 2, it would plant them every 2 meters. And then you have the sounds, animations, sapling nodes. Yeah, it looks like the only thing you can really do is change the distance between trees. That's the only customization they allow you with the base game thing. But that should give you exactly what you want to do. I bet the default is 20 and that no one has ever tried to change it from 20. Or, I imagine if you looked at the excavator one, The excavator probably has that value set at like 0 or 1 or something like that. So it'll let you plant trees as close together as you want if you're using the excavator planter head versus using the regular everyday tree planter, which decides as part of its functionality when to output a tree. That would be my guess. Oh yeah, I saw that. The farm sim, the FSG team made that. I don't know if they're going to actually release that on GitHub, but I know that they released it early on ModBarn. I was watching that progress. Oh, I just realized just now that I only stone picked about half that field. I'm gonna have to go back and stone pick the rest of it. Oh well, I'm just do the headlands and keep going where I am. But yeah, that's a very cool mod, and I've actually done that exact same logic before on my own, where I took vehicles from one save game and added them to another vehicle's save game so that I could go from one map to another from a content creation standpoint. Yeah, I've never done that. I've never done that, Outlaw. I wouldn't imagine that it's going to be easy, but maybe it is. You never know. I've never used the row crop ready stuff at all. Never found the need for it, I guess. The Fendt 728. I love that tractor, honestly. Chris and Riley just released a Fendt pack where they added some fun configurations and styles and paint schemes to all of the Fendt tractors. I believe that that's going to go up on their itch.io, if I'm not mistaken. If you're looking for some Fendts with some more grunt, or a vineyard tractor with 5,000 horsepower. Keep your peat in one trailer and start fresh? Yeah, totally. I've actually done that. Like, I did a series in 22 where I went from... I forget what I called it, now that I think about it. But I basically did a start from scratch on one map and then took my equipment over to the second map and then took my equipment over to the third map and then took my equipment over to the fourth map. And I, like, between the second map and the third map, I actually, like, loaded up all of the equipment onto, like, a lowboy. And, like, pretended to drive the lowboy with all of the equipment off the edge of the map at the end of an episode, and then to start by driving onto another map at the beginning of the next episode. Yeah, if it fits, it ships, or you sell it. Yeah, that would be a cool idea. I also had this idea that I never did, and you guys can take this idea if you want. I had an idea to do... You ever see the movie with Jason, whatever his name is, Statham, called The Transporter? I wanted to do an episode called The Contractor, or a series called The Contractor, and I would go on to... the idea is to be able to play multiple maps, but with one set of equipment, which this mod would be perfect for. And basically, I couldn't do any contracts that I didn't have the equipment for. And so over time, I use the money that I'm making from doing contracts to buy better equipment or buy more equipment. And that was just the general idea, right? But the key of it was being able to take my truck and trailer, and I had a favorite truck and a favorite trailer picked out and everything, from one map to the next map with all of the stuff on it, and then just start fresh doing contracts on a new map. With the equipment that I had. And over time, I'd get to see multiple maps, and I was planning on only doing like it like a summer job thing where I join onto a map that's in progress in like the early spring and stay into the fall, and then just do contracts and help people harvest their fields and whatever. And then once winter hits, I'd you know, spend the winter being a ski bum or something like that, and then find a new place to be a contractor for, and then just do a new map in the spring. That was my idea. I never got a chance to do it. Oh yeah, Northern Farm Sim, I agree with you. If you want to age your vehicle and you don't mind editing things, I can teach you how. It's actually very easy. You don't mind a little bit of save game editing, like XML editing, I can show you how right now, actually. I'm just driving around the circle, so I'm gonna show Northern Farm Sim how. If you want to age a vehicle, right? Go into your save game. So I'm not going to do this save game because I'm currently playing it, but let's say save game 1. This is my save game for my Can You Survive 25 series. And then you're going to go in here to vehicles. And this looks like a bunch of gobbledygook, right? That's fine. It doesn't matter. But if I come in here, like here's my fast track that I'm using in that series, right? And if we just minimize this so I don't like collapse these groups, if I just do Control K2, collapse everything. But the fast track icon, right, is right here. And if I scroll over, it says age 2, right? Price, operating time. And so between the age, which is how old it is, and the operating time is how much you've been using it for. By changing the operating time, you can affect the wear of the vehicle. And then I'm trying to see, I don't remember if there was, that's how you can affect like the over operating time. But then if you expand this group, you come down in here to this one. It says wearable, right? This block right here, washable, is how dirty it is, and I don't know how to set any of that stuff, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. But wearable, the amount of damage that your thing currently has is how damaged it is, and wear, I believe this is damage, and this is damage, like damage you need to fix it damage, and the wear is actual wear. So how scratched it is. So come in here, I would come in, edit this, like I would come in here and just do this, like just copy, paste, or I'd copy this block off somewhere else. And then I'd change one of these numbers to like, I believe this is going to be 0 out of 100, 0 out of 1. So 0 to 1. So change this number to like 95. And it'll be 95% wear, 0.95. So it's one of those two numbers. I don't remember which one. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Just make sure you back up those numbers or what that whole file was. Like make a copy of the whole file. And then load into the game. See if it shows what you want. If it doesn't, don't save. Exit back out. And then change it again until you get what you want. That's how to do it. Unfortunately, you can't do it in-game anymore. That's one of the things I miss about easy dev controls also. is you used to be able to do that with easy dev controls, and it was just that. Easy. And unfortunately now, until we get easy dev controls back, you have to do it manually, which is by tweaking numbers and settings in places. Yeah, back it up or blow up. Or lose your entire save. Yeah, definitely back up your save game file before you start messing with it. I don't want to be the one who causes you to lose your save. Please, please, please back it up. But here we go. We're coming up on the end. I'm actually finishing my headland. I do have a little bit left of this field to go. I still have this section of the field, which I didn't stone pick. I'm going to stone pick it anyways, just because it's giving me a cultivated state. And I'm going to just do the work to get that done. But that's going to be it for me tonight. Thank you so much. We had a lot of people in the chat tonight, and a lot of people talking and keeping active in the chat, which I'm so humbled by. Thank you so much for everyone. If you're new here and you haven't hit that subscribe button down below, please hit that subscribe button. Let me know that you're liking the content. Hit the like button. Let YouTube know that you're liking the content. And if you want to support the channel in any way, the only support I get is through YouTube, or I get support through YouTube memberships, and I get the support through Ko-Fi. If you want to have like a direct support, a direct line into buy me a coffee or whatever. So buy me a coffee through Ko-Fi, get it? Coffee, Ko-Fi. And let me know that you liking what I'm doing here, and that means a great deal to me. And just so you know, all of that support, all of those things, whether it's YouTube or Ko-Fi or whatever, all goes back to the community. I use that money actually to buy models for future mods that I'm in the middle of making. So that money goes straight back to you guys, or goes into keeping this channel running and making it so I have enough time to do these fun things. So if you'd like to support the channel, please don't hesitate. If you have any questions, definitely reach out on Discord. I'm always around on Discord, always willing to help out. Always willing to answer questions. If you're not sure how to do something, let me know. And just like tonight that I did a couple times in the live stream, I'll either know or I will point you in the right direction, hopefully. And, you know, that's just what I do. I love helping out and being there to help out. And so thank you, a special thank you to all of my AI members, the always involved, awesome individuals, and people with amazing impact. You are what keeps me going and keeps this channel running. So thank you very much. And above all, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, everybody. And I hope you have a great night. Keep an eye out on ModHub this week. And if you do get a chance, if you haven't, I'm last request. Get a chance. If some of my new mods come out this week, make sure you rate them 5 stars right away. If you haven't rated your contract boost mod, if you haven't even used contract boost yet, please give it a rating. The ratings are kind of dipping because I think some people rated it poorly because there was a couple bugs because Giants took forever to test it. And I got a couple of negative ratings, which brought my score down, which means that I'm no longer in the top list, the list of top mods, which is not a bad thing, but it also means that they're not pushing my mod in front of other people. I won't get featured in the highlight thing. So to be able to get featured in the highlight thing, I have to be in the top list. So if you haven't rated Contract Boost, please do so. Give it a 5 stars and get it so we can get it in front of more people and let people completely control their contract system. That's going to be it from me tonight. Thanks for watching. Catch everyone next time. Bye-bye.